What would you like to talk about next?
Girl in Red,
Girl
Chapter
in
2.
Red. So this is the second EP by Norwegian indie singer-songwriter Marie Alvin Ringheim. I think is that right?
I've got Marie Alvin. I never realised that was her full name. Maybe I've just kind of written down incorrectly. But yeah, she's only 19 years old as well, which is quite phenomenal.
So the EP is called Chapter 2. It's 15 minutes and 55 seconds long, which is was kind of perfect for me because when I listened to this the first few times, it was on a Thursday morning where I do a wee delivery job, and as I'm driving from my home to where I start, it takes about 15 minutes. So I just that EP is like the perfect length just for that journey. So it's that was a happy coincidence. But what's interesting about Girl in Red is that she records and produces all of this music from the confines of her bedroom. Yeah, so she records all the lyrics and all the vocals and the instruments and does all the production just out of her home. And I think it's worth noting that because the result of all that is really impressive. Like really impressive for having essentially done it all on her own.
Yeah. I'm going to sound like a dickhead, but when we were kind of talking earlier on, I did say that there was such a warmth to these recordings. Like, they're great, and I never actually realised she recorded it by herself in her room, so that's really something.
There's only 5 tracks, so we as well just talk about them all.
Yeah.
So it opens with Watch You Sleep, which is a sort of really bright, dreamlike song. It's got some lush guitars, like a bit of reverb and delay and soothing vocals. It's about 3 minutes long. There's no drums until about 2/3 of the way through.
Kind of 2 minute mark, just under 2 minute mark.
And it seems to be a song about an early relationship where the sort of protagonist of the song or Girl in Red wants to spend every moment with their partner. And I want to watch you sleep and listen to you breathe. I don't ever want to leave. I'll watch you sleep. And it's a real sort of dreamy and floaty song, and the lyrics, I mean, it's not delivered in a sort of soppy kind of way, which you might expect from the way that I've described it, but there's also a bit of humour in there. I love the line that says, I never get bored of looking at you because every time I see something new, like the scar on your spine, you fell off a roof when you were 9, you lived a life before me. So that kind of thing sort of pulls you in. Her vocal performance is really good and really impressive. Like you said, like the warmth that comes through, it's hard not to love. And one thing I picked up at the end of this song actually is around the 2 minute mark, where the sort of the drums kick in, the vocals sort of start to sound further and further away in the distance. Like it's almost like this sort of hopeful relationship is starting to fade away, and the shouts of I'll watch you sleep get farther and farther away, as if it's sort of deteriorating. That's just something that I kind of picked up on. Whether that was the intention or not, I like to think that it was, but that's just my interpretation of it. Which I feel leads somewhat into the next song, which is called I Need to Be Alone. And it's kind of tonally opposite to Watch You Sleep. It's like, the lyrics are I need to be alone or I'm going to lose my shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you go from that, I don't want to leave you and I want to watch you sleep, to this, I need to be alone or I'm going to lose my shit. And whether it's a direct sort of lead on from that or not, because some of the other lyrics talk about being sort of stuck in a rut and each day feeling the same and falling out of conversations and wasting life on pointless things, that kind of thing. And so it's maybe a song about depression, but it could equally be a sort of a carry on from the first song into that relationship sort of crumbling away and becoming something a bit more toxic.
Yeah, I've kind of agreed with you in my notes here. I've kind of said, the lyrical content kind of hints at possible mental health issues. Like you said, she's unable to kind of stay focused in conversations. I can't pay attention. Repeat the question is one of the lyrics. As you said earlier on, I need to be alone or I'm going to lose my shit. And it kind of touches on a lot of the same themes as one of our previous songs, which was... it's called Summer Depression.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's just straight up. Yeah, there's no ambiguity there. I think that was released as part of our first EP, Chapter 1 in 2018. And lyrics, there's a lyric in that says, there's so much time to contemplate my life. Summer Depression.
Yeah, I didn't really take the time to delve into her back catalogue, but I think I definitely will after having listened to this and enjoying it so much.
I don't think Chapter 1 is necessarily available in or on Spotify. However, a few of the singles are. Okay, so you can listen to the singles from there, Summer Depression being one of them.
Cool. I focus a lot, we kind of focus on the lyrics a lot here, but the sort of background music, there's a sort of, it's almost like an island music kind of riff that's going on, like a Caribbean almost sort of sound to the guitar riffs on this song, and then there's really sort of gentle drumming which really works well with this sort of dreamlike vocals. So it's a good song. And then the next track is Dead Girl in the Pool. What do you think of Dead Girl in the Pool?
Yeah, like I said when we were kind of speaking earlier on, I don't know what to make of some of the kind of notes that I've written down here, but here I've got is the opening bars kind of reminded me of an Empire of the Sun song, okay. We Are the People. However, on reflection, I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it's just the way that she kind of plays the guitar that kind of reminds me of that song, right, rather than the actual melody or chords or whatever that's being played. But no, I really enjoyed it.
I like how it's like a really jaunty, like acoustic guitar melody that comes in to like open the song, and kind of it goes pretty much throughout the song as well. Mm-hmm. But then the lyrics are like waking up after a really heavy session at a party. And then like looking out the window and seeing a dead girl floating in the pool, and it's just that kind of jaunty, the sort of jaunty musicianship and the sort of dark lyrics. It's just sort of a sort of razor sharp kind of wit that I really enjoyed, and I think the vocal performance really shows off the strength of her voice as well. Yeah, like she's like a genuinely good singer.
I was really surprised to find out that it was just her. I thought there was kind of two singers.
I think the vocals on the start of this song are double tracked, so it does kind of sound like it's a duo, and someone else is singing. But I think it really works really well with that sort of vibe where it sounds like there are two singers. But we obviously talk about her spotting this dead girl through the window, and then she goes on to say that like later, I'm the dead girl in the pool, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, and
so it's like, I think that sort of breeds like a really interesting situation where she had this party, and then she wakes up and she's wandering around, and then she spots a dead girl in the pool, and she's that dead girl. So is it like her ghost? That's walking around.
She's a ghost. Yeah,
it's like I think that's a really cool kind of concept for a song. A really interesting concept. Yeah. And it's fucking great fun to sing along to as well.
Especially that lyric.
If you can hit
the pool.
You can hit those falsettos. Okay, so track 4, I'll Die Anyway. This similarities in this song to
You Need to Be Alone.
Yeah.
Summer Depression, I suppose, as well.
Themes of depression.
I've kind of described it as a pop song about the futility of life.
So pretty.
And made reference to the lyric, it's fine, it's okay, I'll die anyway.
Yeah. So it's just basically someone coming to terms with the fact that they're depressed, but it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
It's fine. I don't mind. Sort of ghostly, ethereal vocals. And yeah, just to bolster that kind of acceptance, it's like accepting I'm pointless isn't the hardest when it's so completely obvious. My questions are countless, looking for answers, so far I'm clueless, go back to sleep. So it's a sort of resignation, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So maybe go back to what I was talking about with the first two tracks, where I was like, Watch You Sleep is maybe, this burgeoning relationship, and I Need to Be Alone is maybe that kind of falling apart. Then Dead Girl in the Pool is possibly a sort of, going wild after a relationship, and then I'll Die Anyway is the sort of crushing realisation of, well, it's all pointless.
That's the fear that you get when you're hungover, possibly after a crazy party.
It could be that, actually. That's quite interesting, yeah. Crushing depression of being hungover. So I don't know if this sort of thread exists, but I'm building it for myself.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then the final song, Bad Idea, is like about a sort of regretful booty call.
Yeah.
And I've written here possibly with a person from the first song, which is my kind of, this is like taking it full circle. I really like the vocal delivery on this song. It's like a sort of really like low, the way she sings is like, in comparison to the other tracks, she sings in a really low.
How would you describe her vocal delivery? Because I've written some mad notes here, man.
I don't know, I just, like, it's quite,
Because
it's a more sort of masculine kind of deep delivery.
I've kind of written here, don't know how to describe vocals in the kind of opening bars of the song, and I've said that kind of warble, that kind of deep tone, kind of reminded me a wee bit of the kind of female, almost rockabilly, psychobilly singers. But I've said, that parallel to that genre of music is fairly short-lived, and that's where that parallel kind of really starts and finishes, because then it becomes like a kind of electro pop song.
Yeah, I get the sort of warbling. It's not like, it's sort of a subtle.
How else to describe
it's
it.
kind of a subtle like warble at the end of like a line. But I just think it's a really interesting the way like it's just a sort of deep, like a much deeper delivery than before, and it just keeps things fresh and interesting rather than just going for the same kind of style throughout the rest of the EP.
Kind of reminded me of some of Lady Hawk stuff.
Not a band I know the name, but I'm not familiar.
I only know a handful of their songs, but it for some reason it kind of reminded me of her. Paris is Burning and kind of songs like that. Yeah,
and there's some pretty cool like indie guitar licks like in the chorus, which I found myself really enjoying. So I don't know how you sort of describe the overall sound of this. It's sort of...
It starts off like indie acoustic, like you said, and then it kind of finishes with that kind of electric pop.
There's a bit of like sort of shoegaze on it, like the guitars are sort of they're not distorted. There's lots of effects like used on the guitars. There's a lot of there's some reverb and delay, and like there are some sorts of elements of shoegaze on here, but for the most part it's like sort of indie acoustic sort of thing. But I think it's a really good EP.
Yeah, absolutely.
And apparently our debut album will be coming out in 2020, called World in Red, I think. I haven't written it down, but I think that's what it's called. So I'll definitely be looking forward to hearing that.
And would the plan be, do you think, to kind of bring the two EPs together into the one album and maybe kind of some additional material?
I would hope it would be entirely new material rather than a sort of double EP.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a sort of double EP release at some stage, put the two chapters together, but I'd like to think that this World in Red album will be entirely new material.
It's probably also worth mentioning as well, so she's kind of been hailed as an LGBTQ plus icon.
Yeah.
Because she's obviously she's singing about same-sex relationships, as well. However, in that article that I don't know if I did mention earlier on, but I kind of read an article. Where was it from again? It was released on the 14th of February, so Valentine's Day this year, and it was written by a person called Tara Aquino for Complex, a website called Complex, where Marie Alvin, Girl in Red, was kind of being hailed as an LGBTQ plus kind of champion and icon. However, she just wants to be honest. She doesn't necessarily want to take that on board, as it were. She just wants to be open and honest with people.
Yeah, I think I can't remember the name of the song, but there is a song, like when I've listened to chapter 2, when it ends, it automatically skips onto like another song.
Yeah.
And there's obvious kind of same-sex relationship lyrics in that song. I can't think of the one that I mean, but I think in chapter 2, it's non-specific. You could easily interpret it as a hetero like relationship, or or interpret it in any other way. It's not specific. It doesn't say it's men and women or women and women or anything like that. It just is, and I think that's goes well with what she's saying. She just wants to be open and honest, and there's no he or she on chapter 2 at all, I don't think, other than maybe when she's referring to herself as the dead girl in the pool.
I think that I was just kind of having a look at my phone there. I think the two songs that possible two songs that you're kind of talking about there, referencing, is We Fell in Love in October.
That's it.
And also I Want to Be Your Girlfriend. I can't remember.
Actually, it might be both.
It might be both.
It might be both. So I think I've heard them both. So the names are familiar.
I can't remember. I think I Want to Be Your Girlfriend ends with this repetition of I Want to Be Your Girl, and possibly, I can't remember if it's in that song or if it's in I Fell in Love on October. She says that I want to be your bitch or something like that, but I can't remember which of the two songs it's in. It might very well just be in I Want to Be Your Girlfriend.
So I think that's demonstrating that sort of subtle humour that's on chapter 2 as well.
Yeah.
I think I like that kind of subtle wit to some of the lyrics, not being too they don't hit you over the head like a hammer. It's just nice little snippets to find.
Yeah.
So how would you rate it? Yeah.
I find it difficult to give any album that was read less than kind of an 8 or 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because it's great. You can't fault it. I'd probably be inclined to give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it's a strong 9 again, and it just makes me really hopeful for the album. Mm-hmm. But it's actually quite a nice, neat little package the way it is in as an EP. It just flows really well, and it it starts well, it ends well. It's just a nice little a good way to spend a quarter of an hour.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't know, maybe. I'm sure we'll find something that we're not going to like, but
well, we have already.
Well, we have, but it was alright.
It was still good.
It was still good enough.
Had its moments.
So that was chapter 2, the latest EP by Girl in Red.
Such a disaster. There's a dead girl in the pool. There's a dead girl in the pool. It was such a bad